You're a big fan of the Malpass Brothers over here, Mr. Black, and I am too.
Well, I just heard a new name for them.
I'm sorry?
The Malpractice Brothers.
We've been called everything and called none at all sometimes.
This is Chris and Tyler.
Oh,
Yes.
Taylor.
You say it.
Taylor.
See, I told you, Tyler.
Tyler.
Well, yeah.
See, the bad thing was we were on Larry's Country Diner, and he called me Tyler throughout the whole show.
Oh, no.
And finally, I said, my name's actually Taylor. And he said, oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. It sounded like he said Tyler. And I said, well, the bad thing was I said, my fiance, her ex-boyfriend's name is Tyler. So, and he saw that episode, too. So. Good job.
That's funny. We all have people that we look at and we go, you know what? These guys opened for 6 or 7 years for Merle Haggard.
Yes, sir.
And then they would beat it back to North Carolina, South Carolina?
North Carolina, yes, sir.
Thought they were from New York City.
Yes,
Oh, Tyler? Tyler?
This guy rebuilds transmissions, and he works at a tobacco farm,
Yes, sir.
repairing stuff. And they would leave Merle Haggard, beat it back to North Carolina so they could get back to their day jobs.
Wow.
And they did that for 6 years.
Yes, sir.
You're still doing it, aren't you?
Not as much, thank goodness. Yeah, it's but I tell you, I was listening to all these very talented people today, and I said, maybe I told Tara, I said, maybe I should have chose a different song. And then I thought about it, I said, no, maybe I should have chose a different occupation.
Well, I think if you've never heard them, you'll hear a lot of the Wilburn Brothers or Louvin Brothers in them. And I think there's a time coming for a lot of you where the old will be new again.
Yes.
And they'll rediscover some stuff. And with
My daughter's 14 years old.
Yep.
And that's all she listens to is the
retro stuff.
Yes, that feel.
And I believe that. Give us some songs, Malpass Brothers.
This song we're gonna do. Thank you. That's right. You might better clap now because you might not want to afterwards. This song we're gonna do now is my grandfather was a minister, and he used to tell me, I'd say, I don't think I'm gonna go to church this Sunday, and the way he'd fix that, he'd say, well, if the Lord hadn't done anything for me, I wouldn't do anything for him either. And I'd say, you're right, I might better go. And this song we're going to do now is an old Louvin Brothers song, and it's one of those old preaching songs is what I call it. And it's just telling about how we need church and God more than ever now. So listen to the words of this song, Just Suppose. You hear me?
Suppose you could change odds with God for just 1 hour and look upon this world and love all its shame. Could you accept the great number of excuses? That's many Sunday morning when the church bells ring. We have news commentators and preachers who visit all parts of the earth. Newspapers carry many stories of problems yet unsolved. Yet our greatest problem seems to be traveling the short distance from our home to church. Everyone who does not attend has an excuse. And if you're among one of the many who had an excuse last Sunday morning, let's pray that God will accept it. For what if you've given your last opportunity to worship with His people? Suppose you could change odds with God for just 1 hour and look upon this world and know of all its shame. Could you accept the great number of excuses? That's many suppose that you're the mother of a small baby and you don't go to church. And your excuse is the baby would cry and possibly embarrass you in the congregation and irritate the preacher. Now let's say that God should see fit to take away your excuse. Oh, you may hear a few complaints from people around you, and some may even wish that you would leave. But that little baby's cry won't irritate God. No, not in the least. Suppose you could chain God with God for just 1 hour and look upon this world and know of all its shame. Could you accept the great number of excuses that's made each Sunday morning when the church bells ring?
These clips are great, but to see full episodes, go to countryroadtv.com.